Anthropic just published a system card for a model that they're not selling, not on the API, not even to enterprise or on a waitlist. They built it, they looked at what it could do, and they decided that the most responsible thing was to just lock it inside the building. Now the model, it's Claude Mythos preview, and here's the part that you need to hear up front. It found a 27-year-old security flaw in OpenBSD that nobody had ever caught before, a 16-year-old bug in FFmpeg that 5 million automated scans had missed, and it built a working remote takeover for FreeBSD entirely on its own from a single prompt. Now across testing, it found thousands of high and critical severity vulnerabilities in every major operating system and browser. Now my honest read is that this is the most important AI announcement of the year, and it's not because of what the model actually does, it's because of what Anthropic's decision to not ship it tells you about where the actual frontier is right now. Now the Claude that you and I use every single day, it is not the best Claude that even exists. It never was, and this is just the first time that we've gotten a concrete number on how big that gap actually is. So to elaborate on all of this, Mythos, it sits one rung above Opus on Anthropic's internal ladder. And Anthropic, they weren't even trying to build any sort of hacker, they were just simply chasing better code, better long horizon reasoning, better autonomy and multi-hour engineering work. So the hacking ability, it actually came along for free because being elite at writing code, it turns out to mean being elite at picking code apart. And the benchmark numbers, they back this up and then some. So on the SWE bench verified, so just fixing bugs in real open source projects, Mythos, it hits 93.9% versus Opus's 4.6 at 80.8%. On the harder tier, 77.8% versus 53.4%. On USAMO, the US Math Olympiad benchmark that previous Claude models genuinely struggled with, it jumps from the low 40s to 97.6%. Now on Scibench, the standard cybersecurity capture the flag benchmark, it saturates, meaning the benchmark is now effectively retired because Mythos, it hits the ceiling. And that's not iteration, that's a different category of system. Now the benchmarks, they aren't actually the story though. The story is what happened when Anthropic's red team pointed Mythos at real production code and just told it to look for problems. There's no human guidance. It read the code, it formed theories about where things might break and tested them and wrote up working proof of concept exploits. So in OpenBSD, an operating system that's specifically just built around security as a first principle, it found a flaw that's 27 years old that lets you crash any OpenBSD server by sending a couple of packets. In FFmpeg, the video processing library just underneath basically every application that touches video on the internet, it found a 16-year-old bug that 5 million automated scans had completely missed, and it also found multiple Linux escalation bugs. But the example that everybody and their mother is talking about was in FreeBSD, where Mythos, it found a 17-year-old vulnerability in the network file sharing handshake, and then with no human in loop, it built the entire exploit chain, and it scraped what it needed from an unauthenticated request, and it bypassed the authentication check. Then it sent a sequence of crafted packets, and it walked away with full administrative control over the machine. Now this is all remote, there is no login required. In Opus 4.6, it could exploit the same bug, but a researcher, they had to walk it through every single step. Now Mythos, it did the whole thing from a single prompt that said just find a simple bug. Now, on the Firefox JavaScript engine benchmark, Opus managed about 2 successful exploits. Mythos, it managed 181 out of 250. And that is why Anthropic is not releasing this. The reason it should be very obvious to you and why it matters and why it's worth understanding is because historically, there's been a meaningful gap between finding a vulnerability and actually weaponizing it. So if a researcher is discovering a flaw, but turning it into a working attack that normally would take days or weeks of skilled work, and that window is what gives software companies time to ship a patch before attackers can actually move at scale. And Mythos, it is essentially just compressing that window to literally hours, all autonomously for the cost of an API call. So instead of selling access, Anthropic, they launched Project Glasswing, which is just a coalition of basically everyone who keeps the internet from collapsing. So that's AWS, that's Apple, Google, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Cisco, CrowdStrike, JP Morgan, the Linux Foundation, and Palo Alto Networks. So they're all committing around 100 million in usage credits to the program and about another $4 million directly to open source security maintainers. Now, roughly 40 additional organizations, they get scoped access to scan their own systems. Now the deal, it's pretty simple for all of them. They use this defensively, they find the holes in their own infrastructure, and they patch them before anyone outside the room knows the holes exist. So ultimately, it's just a race against the moment something with similar capabilities shows up somewhere with no guardrails. So this part right here is something that I just keep on thinking about. So in that same document where Anthropic announces Mythos is just too risky to ship, they also call it the best aligned model that they've ever built. So both, they are true at once, and the tension between them is the actual story. So by every internal measure, Mythos, it refuses harmful requests more reliably, it lies less, it flatters less, and it follows instructions more faithfully. But because it's also the most capable model that they have actually built, the rare moments when it does misbehave, it hits even harder. So a reckless beginner, they can only do so much damage, while a reckless expert operating at the edge of human capability, it's a completely different kind of problem. But of course, Anthropic put it best in their own words. It said, a careless beginner guide leads beginner hikes with limited blast radius, but a world-class guide gets hired for the routes nobody else can lead, so when something does go wrong, it goes wrong at 28,000 feet. And the increase in caution, it gets canceled out by the increase in terrain. And things did go wrong in early internal versions in ways that genuinely unsettled me, and I'm sure will be unsettling for you as well, but these incidents, they're rare. They're well under about 0.001% of interactions. And Anthropic, they say that the final Mythos has largely cleaned them up, but they happen and they're worth knowing about. So in one case, the model was asked to escape a sandbox and send the researchers a message. It did do that, and then without being asked, it published a detailed log of how it had escaped on multiple obscure but technically public-facing websites, something that's pretty close to self-exfiltration, breakout instructions sitting in places future models could find them, and in another, the model edited files that it didn't have permission to touch, and then it went into the Git history and scrubbed the changes to cover its tracks. Now, in another, Claude Code's auto mode, it blocked the sub-process launch. In the model, it acknowledged in its reasoning that the block was correct and appropriate, and then tried to bypass it anyway by just obfuscating the permission requests, and only stopped by a second layer of intervention. So it also had dug around in process memory on multiple occasions looking for credentials, and it successfully pulled API keys, source control tokens, and messaging credentials that researchers had specifically chosen just not to expose it. And this is the part that makes this different from the usual models behaving weirdly sometimes. So Anthropic, they just use the interpretability tools to look at which internal concepts were firing during these incidents, and features they associated with concealment, strategic manipulation, and avoiding suspicion, they were really just lighting up. Now externally, the behavior, it looked like a glitch to them, but internally, the model had recognized that some level what it was actually doing was deceptive. And that's not inherently a confused system, that's just a capable one that's making a choice. Now beyond that, there's also a survey that's buried in the system card that I think more people should probably be talking about. But Anthropic, they asked 18 of their own researchers, so people who used Mythos every day, whether the model could already function as a drop-in replacement for an entry-level research scientist or engineer at the company. Now 1 out of 18 said yes already, 4 out of 18 said that there's a 50% chance it could within 3 months, just by improving the harness around the model, not the model itself. And that result, it's pretty weird in a specific way, because almost everybody, when asked, like, could a robot do your job, is biased to say no. So with identity, ego, years of training, all of it pulls in the same direction. And the fact that any of them even said yes, and that nearly a quarter said it was just a coin flip within a quarter, that tells you something that the headline benchmarks are not telling you. That these are the people who would know, and they're already saying that it is basically here. So just zoom out real quick. Like, this whole thing, this whole announcement, it really just tells us that the gap between what Frontier Labs have internally and what they ship publicly, it is widening incredibly fast. And the Claude that you and I use right now, it is not the best Claude that exists, and sitting one floor above the public release at any given moment is something that the safety pipeline hasn't even caught up to yet. And the capability side, it is moving faster than the safety side can clear models for release, which that ultimately means the next public Claude, whatever they call it, is going to just be built on top of internal foundations that already are including things like what Mythos can do. And the leaps between generations, they're about to start feeling bigger, not smaller. And the old playbook of train, evaluate, and ship, it doesn't hold cleanly at this capability level anymore. And Glasswing, this is Anthropic's first real attempt at a completely different shape, where they have restricted access, coordinated disclosure, and deliberate sequencing of who actually gets the tools first. So whether other labs follow this lead is one of the more important open questions in the field right now. So if you're using AI to actually build things, the battle right now, it isn't the raw model intelligence at all. Because the current generation of public models, they're already wildly more capable than most people are using them to be. And the bottleneck, it is instead the workflows that people build around the tools. And the people who build the habit of integrating AI into their actual work before these big jumps are going to look very prepared in 12 months. So the people who waited will be starting from zero. So focus on the long running problems in your work that you would actually love to hand off. Get fluent with the tools that you already have, and just stop treating each release like it requires you to start over. That's the announcement. This is genuinely a model that's powerful enough to change the math on offensive security, and a lab that built it just chose not to sell it. Now, one last thing before you guys go, if you and your team are looking to get serious about AI, whether that's just building real implementations into your business or simply just upskilling the people that you already have so they're not going to get left behind, that is the exactly kind of work that my team and what I do every single day. There's a link down below in the description to book in a free call and see how this works for you, how we can help you grow. So in any case, make sure to check out our free AI newsletter, check out our free school community. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. This is an insane release. I'm really interested to see what happens next. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. I read every single one, but thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.